we are talking The Rig from 2010. And this one stars William Forsythe and Art LaFleur. They're the only kind of recognisable names you'll have here. And it's a low-budget kind of science fiction movie, and it feels like it's one of these ones that you'd see on the Sci-Fi channel. It effectively tells the story of the crew of a drilling platform that cut off due to a storm. But it just so happens their drilling has disturbed some undiscovered sea creature, which are these kind of humanoid kind of anglerfish men, basically, that kind of come onto this rig. And whilst they're kind of cut off from everyone, decide that they want to effectively kill the members of this drilling platform. And as our kind of survivors start dwindling down, they must try and come up with a plan to fight back. What will happen? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So this is kind of, I suppose, regarded as a somewhat cheap throwaway kind of creature feature. Is there anything that we can say in the positive column here? A couple of things. I mean, one thing that's worth noting that I think is quite impressive for a clearly low budget movie. This is actually filmed on an actual rig. So, the location shooting here was all done on a kind of a decommissioned rig, I believe. And it looks, therefore it kind of looks authentic to a certain degree. Obviously everything is filmed as it on an actual kind of drilling platform. So it has an air of authenticity, at least in its kind of location. And, oil platforms, drilling platforms, things like that, I mean, they're not the most exciting places in some regards. And I think it does reflect in some of the kind of the attitudes of some of the characters who are these kind of like, kind of blue-collar sort of workman types whose life is just this grind. And I think they do portray that in the kind of the characters, which I think is fair. It's very much a kind of, you live to work in these kind of environments. So that I thought was, considering it's such a low budget kind of throwaway creature feature, it wasn't bad. And talking of the creature, I actually kind of like the creature. The actual practical VFX guy in the suit, it looks pretty good. It's effectively, like I say, like an anglerfish man. I mean, realistically, it doesn't make much sense why you'd have a humanoid, kind of human-sized creature with arms and legs living on the kind of the ocean floor. It wouldn't really be like that. But whatever, just for a kind of a horror sci-fi movie, it's a kind of a fun design. It's clearly influenced by Alien. They even have a kind of a homage to the kind of the Wayland Corporation. So it follows the kind of the Alien kind of style kind of story with this kind of group of, blue collar workers fighting this kind of alien menace, so to speak. I mean, we don't get any idea what this creature is for, but alien to these guys at least. But the creature doesn't look too bad. And there is a couple of reasonable gore shots in this movie as well. It feels like it's made for a TV movie, and we'll come on to that. But there is one or two reasonable kind of gore shots. And the creature kills, when it does kill, it kills them very kind of quickly, so it seems quite kind of like, deadly and brutal at the same sort of time. So, I don't think this is a terrible movie. And if you look at things like IMDb, this has got a terrible score, but I don't think it's that bad. But, that being said, let's talk about what I think doesn't work with it. It's super predictable. I mean, this movie is a by-the-numbers plot in regards to a run-of-the-mill kind of like sci-fi creature feature. It very much doesn't break the mould in any respect in regards to kind of narrative storytelling. So there's that. It feels like a 90s movie, I have to say. So this is a 2010 movie, but it has that kind of 90s movie, sort of TV movie or kind of straight to DVD movie kind of vibe to it. It just looks older than it actually is, which is a little weird. I have to say the acting isn't brilliant. Art LaFleur and William Forsythe are kind of our named actors here, but they both have small roles. The rest of the cast is built up with kind of unknowns, really, and whilst they don't embarrass themselves, I think the acting And the dialogue sometimes is a little bit kind of like unconvincing, let's just say. I mean, I think there are some kind of quite fun interactions between some of the characters. There's one guy who's like always trying to fart, and the other guy sort of what farts, which is what guys kind of do. But it's just some of the acting is just a little bit kind of unbelievable at times. And this movie is one of these films where it doesn't show you a lot of the creature until really right at the end. And, you know, the problem is what we're left with is the first half of the movie, it's people talking in rooms. And then the second half of the movie, it's people running around on platforms. You know, and it's just like, yeah, it needed a little bit, I mean, a drilling platform, as authentic as it might be, it's not the most thrilling of movies to spend a whole film there. So what you could have is a little bit more kind of spice in regards to things happening, but it's a lot of flashes, a lot of, you know, kind of, we don't see the creature, we see a quick, like, its arm or something, and then, you know, it's back to kind of like people, oh, what's going on, you know. So it's not a particularly kind of thrilling movie, and I have to say we have these long lags, as I say, of either people with conversations in rooms or people running around on platforms, and that's the bulk of the running time of this film. So it's a little bit of a kind of, it's not a terrible film, it's just not a particularly kind of thrilling film in any way. I mean, is this a below average film? Is where I'm going to go with this. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but I have to say, you know, if we're looking at the balance of scales here, I can't really say it's like a bang on average film, which is a 5 out of 10. So I will go a 4 out of 10 for this one, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, a 4 out of 10 for me. I know that some people kind of question my my scoring system sometimes. 5 is average, and average is not a bad. 4 is below average, but it's not terrible. So that's where we're going with it. All right. 4 out of 10. There you go. So, have you seen The Rig from 2010? Please do let me know and what your thoughts are, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.